All right, so we have the capability of logging in, registering, right? Right. So if I create if I want to create Dan doesn't exist, but I can register as Dan and register. There it is, right? If I log out and then I log in back in as Dan, right? That works. Okay, so it still works as long as within this session of the browser, this works, right? If I refresh, it's all gone. All right, so let's continue. So one of the things we like to be able to do is navigate to any domain objects that this user is related to. Right? Right now, the only domain objects that we can be associated with are the websites. Right? So let's add a button here so that we can navigate to our websites. Right? If I log in, this would take me to my websites. If you log in, it would take you to your websites. Right? So there's a one-to-many relationship here between the user or developer, right, and all the websites associated to that particular developer. Yes? So we'd like to see how we can implement that right now. So right now, the websites, if you click on it, it just navigates to this website list. All right? So first, let's work on the navigation to this website. Okay? All right, so let's go to the config, and let's create a relationship, a route that would allow us to navigate there. Okay, I'm going to copy this over here. Okay, and since there's a relationship between users and websites, right? The URL, the route, is going to make that explicit, right? Stating that there's a one-to-many relationship between users and websites. Okay. And to do that, we're going to do the following, /website. Okay? And the way this is interpreted is that I want all the websites for a particular user. So if I tell you the user as a context, I want the websites within that context. If the context change, I'll have different websites. Make sense? All right. Also, this is the syntax. The general syntax we're going to be following throughout the semester, right? It's going to be more or less the same, right? If we're going to have these hard-coded strings, right? These literal strings referring to different data types or different entities. So user is an entity, something that is being stored in the database, right? A website is also an entity. Okay. If in a URL or route we just refer to, we use just the name of the entity, right? We're going to interpret that as meaning that you want all the instances of that entity. Okay? If you have an entity followed by an ID, then we're going to interpret that by meaning you don't want all the instances. You mean that you want just that one instance. Make sense? Okay, like over here. When you log in, right? I just want to see this one user, and I have the profile page to display that one user. Make sense? Okay. And if there's a relationship between one entity and another entity, right? We're going to use this hierarchical mechanism of paths that allow us to go from higher context into narrower, ever more narrower context. Make sense? Right. This will allow us to navigate a hierarchical tree, right, from a node, right, and then follow a particular branch, right, and then deeper and deeper into the branches until you get to the leaves of the tree. Make sense? Right. So these slashes are that's their interpretation, right? They're allowing us to navigate the entire data tree. Make sense? So here, notice that it ends with the name of an entity, and I'm not specifying any particular website. That means the interpretation here is I'm asking for all the websites, right? A collection of websites, right, within the context of a particular user. Make sense? So what I would expect from this URL is that I want a list of websites for that particular user. Make sense? So indeed, we're going to implement it in a website list view. right? So the template also grabs, literally its name, right, is captures the fact that we're going to list a whole bunch of websites. Make sense? We don't have controllers just yet, so I'm just going to comment that out. Okay, so that's where we want to navigate. Let's see if this page actually exists. Let's see. Public assignment, graduate, view, website. Okay, so I think we need to put it in the right place. It needs to be under templates. So let's create templates directory here. And let's move these two templates into the templates directory. And let's rename this to be, as the name suggests, website list dot view view.client.html. Make sense? Right? So anybody who opens this file immediately says, this is an artifact that is meant to be consumed by a user. That's what a view says, right? So this has to look pretty, right? It has to have layout. It has to have styling. It has to have everything that it has to do. It presumably is going to be given some dynamic content, right? That's going to iterate over and display it for a user. Okay. All right. So let's try it out. All right, so if we go back and we have user ID and then some website, right? Website that indeed now renders the list of websites, right? As we had worked on a while back. Okay. Looks like there's an error. Let's look at the error. It says that it was trying to fetch Bootstrap min, right, for this particular page. Right, we probably moved the page somewhere, and now it can't find the relative path to that style. Right? Probably it's this one right here. Right? But that's okay because we don't really need any of this. Okay? Because that's going to be provided by the parent index page. Right? The index page is already loading the Bootstrap and the style sheet and the JavaScript and all that. So we don't need any of that. So this has truly become a partial template, right? It's not a full-blown HTML document. It's not meant to be consumed all by itself. It's meant to be consumed inside of a larger application, right? As just one of many views. Make sense? Now, albeit these views are indeed, full-blown pages, right? But as we progress, those views will become smaller and smaller, right? Almost, reusable components that you can combine them, right, to paint a website, right, or a page. So a page might contain several views, right? This will be, in particular, we're going to do this for the widget list. The widget list is indeed drawn out of several separate views, right? Each view will render an image or an iframe or heading or something like that, right? Each one will have its own way of rendering. Make sense? So that indeed will have different templates in one bigger template. Okay. All right. So let's see if we refresh. Notice that there's no more error and it loads. Right. And this is the website list that we worked on back, I think, last week. Right. That we styled it. It was responsive. It hid and showed different columns depending on the size of the screen. Yes? Yes.
Is the header and footer were in a different color?
Yeah, that's fine.
Why that?
We never changed the color of the heading and the footer. I think this is the default color.
I thought they were dark.
Yeah, no, I don't think we changed it. I think maybe the very first one we changed, but then not the other ones. Yeah. All right, so let's continue. So we worked on the navigation for the template. All right. Next, we're going to add the controller and the data that's going to be rendering dynamically. All right.